mic'd up with Mikey Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J. Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You're more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players. Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Friday, April 11th. Very special day. I'll get to that point. I'll get to that at the end of the show. A little tease, so to say. Big show for you today. We are here at our home at Indigo. This is our Loosey Goosey Friday show. Perfect weather. Perfect golf weather. For those of you that frequent the sport, perfect weather at Augusta for the Masters. We were watching it. Scotty Scheffler making his surge. Rory McIlroy making his surge going into the weekend. Justin Rose leading the tournament right now as he just finishes 18. I think he is 8 under for the tournament. DeChambeau on his heels. Rory McIlroy starting to play really good golf. And obviously Scotty Scheffler right there lurking. So a lot of great golf to be played this weekend. Perfect weather for it. This is the golden time of the spring. Weather is not too hot, starting to warm up. College baseball in general is starting to heat up. College baseball starting to get to the back half of the conference schedule, and major season starts today with this weekend with the Masters. Wonderful time if you like both of those sports, which we all like both of those sports. So I'm extremely excited. But we're here, like I said, at Indigo. Mik'd Up 15 is the promo code. Go to indigopapers.com. Go check out their products. CannaFest tomorrow.
1 day away.
1 day away. Perfect weather. I know they hold their breath. Every year they hold their breath. Oh, is the weather going to be good?
You're making a weed.
Or two reasons. But weather-wise, they probably are very anxious to make sure that the weather is good because you don't want to kill good vibes that are going to be there on Friday. The weather is supposed to be perfect. They will have good internet out there. We are helping provide. Actually, Elon is helping provide some of the internet. But that is tomorrow, all day, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Beauvoir Park. Before you go there, it's a perfect time to go to IndigoPapers.com, get you some stuff to go and accentuate the vibes,
your experience
that you're gonna have there, and then with this beautiful weather. Be one with nature. IndigoPapers.com. Mik'd 15 is a promo code. Get as much as you want. Use that code. You get 15% off of your order by adding your email address. So
peruse the website, and then so when you go to
website.
CannaFest, you'll know what you want.
Yep, exactly.
Get some samples, some tinctures, some droppers.
Exactly.
A little bud. A couple of drinks.
Yeah. Try it. Try it out.
And the more you buy, the more the discount code works.
That's the way it works.
That's
right?
how math.
That's the female math.
we
saved. I saved money. No,
bold day to say that.
You just didn't spend as much as you would have. So it wasn't saving. It was not spending as much. But go ahead and treat yourself. Obviously, we're not here just talking golf. We're not here just talking CannaFest. LSU baseball on the road for the second straight weekend, going to Auburn, coming off a sweep on the road against Oklahoma in crappy weather. They did what they needed to do, played really good baseball, and they come into this weekend with a 10-2 record in the SEC. Obviously, Auburn's coming off a really good weekend against Alabama. Should be an interesting matchup. We're going to get into that through the course of the show. NFL draft 2 weeks away. Mel Kiper. A lot of noise and a lot of chatter about the number 9 pick, which the Saints have. Then now they're talking about Shedeur Sanders is supposed to be the 9th overall pick for the Saints. Some like it, some don't like it. Obviously, a lot of conversation about that pick. Do they trade back? If they like maybe Jackson Dart more than they want Shedeur Sanders and get some more capital, or do they take Shedeur Sanders, or do they not take a quarterback with a 9th pick? It feels like the closer we get, the more it looks like they're going to take a quarterback. But we shall see. They haven't taken a quarterback in the first round since Archie Manning, so we should see what they do. Mickey Loomis always trades up. He's been pretty aggressive in past drafts, but should be interesting. But that is 13 days away. We're not here to talk all the football. We're here to talk baseball, specifically college baseball, specifically LSU baseball. But before we get to that, we are joined by
the one
and only, Jared Mitchell, who is also just made his season debut, not his career debut, season debut for SEC Network last night, looking sharp in the suit. Coach, look at that. Pocket square is fire.
Like a black Scott Van Pelt.
He's laughing. You look like you're having a great time. Welcome to the show. Glad you're look, great debut last night. I told you off air, full disclosure, I was sleeping by the time you got on. So but you looked great.
I taped it. It's on the VCR.
Hey, last night was a late night, man. They had that the 8 o'clock game that started. That game goes into extra innings. We was in there grinding.
P Money almost got one.
They almost did.
P Money almost got one.
Hey, funny. I was talking about it last night, man. Like, this is about the time with the way that they're playing right now in terms of record. Like, this is where P Money's challenging people. He is not afraid to get in someone's face. He is not afraid to challenge you, your manhood, who you are, where you came from, what you about, where you're trying to go. I guarantee that's what he's doing right now. So that team showed up and they fought, man. Like, that A&M team's talented, right? They started the year as the number 1 team. So they finally get this thing going a little bit. I think they recently just got back Kevin Sorrell, which is who hit the walk-off homer last night.
Great celebration. Great celebration.
Yeah, great. That's great celebration.
Yep. I mean, it's amazing.
I'm sure that's a bit of the lineup, man. So, like, it seems like they're on the ticker going up. Now, how much juice they got in the fruit, we'll see. But, like, they're going in the right direction. So, like, that was a tough test for them.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was I'm happy to see A&M start to play good baseball. I know some people listening to shows, I want them to stink. You know, you want to play the best. You want the teams coming in. You want the conference to be good. So, you never want to – most people never want to see people struggle, especially when you have some people that you know personally that are involved. And so nice to see them get it going. You'd like to see South Carolina continue to play baseball like they played last night. Hopefully get some more wins as the season goes on. But the teams that you haven't been worried about so far of getting wins is LSU. Right? LSU's 10-2 in conference play. The only 2 losses came against on the road against Texas, who is the number 1 or 2 team, depending on what poll. I believe mostly 2, but depending on what poll you're looking at. And so they're on the road against Auburn, who's coming off a big win. Obviously, you got Ace on the mound. Cade Anderson, what's he going to do as an encore from the weekend before when he went CG, 135 pitches, and struck out 14? I don't expect him to go 135 pitches again. I can't expect him to go 9 innings again, but I do expect you to see a lot what you saw last weekend. Again, this weekend, just maybe not the length. Definitely not. I can't see Jay allowing him to go 135 pitches 2 weeks in a row. That'd be hard unless it happens the same way, but more likely than not, I'd like to see him get through 6 or 7 and, same type of start, but maybe not 9. Facing Sammy Dutton, who is their ace with a 2, I think he's got a 2.4, 2.6 ERA. He is 4-2 on the year. Obviously, he's facing some of his old teammates, facing his old team. Should be interesting. Obviously, interesting storyline there. Let's start with that game first. Looking ahead of this game, Cade Anderson, obviously coming off this big start. What do you expect to see from him? And what are going to be what do you think the challenges are for him after coming off a complete game?
So there's 2 things. I'm not concerned health-wise,
right,
but I am interested to see how far he lets him go in this game. I would imagine it's probably not anywhere over right over 100 pitches this time. Now, I'm not saying that there may not be a case again this year where he throws the way he did if things are going right and the situation calls for it. I just don't think it'll be back-to-back. What I am looking for, though, with Cade is how sharp is he? After an outing like that, does he have it? Is it back to the situation where it was I had control and not command, or is he kind of right back in the groove and falling right back into, hey, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing what we saw him do last week. I'm doing what we saw him do when he was at Texas, I believe, when he threw really well. Those 2 outings were there was so much conviction in the way he pitched. There was so much ability to challenge the zone and throw where he wanted to throw. That's what I'm looking for. On the other side of it, Sammy Dutton, right? We know him well. He's pitched at LSU. He's kind of been up and down, if you want to call it. Not so far down, but just not the height at what he's pitching at right now. How is he going to pitch? How is he going to throw? I'm sure this is somewhat emotional for him in this situation. He knows a lot of these guys in that clubhouse. This should be a good opener to this series, and I think this is one of those situations that they can get to the bullpen, get Dutton out of the game, get to the bullpen. This is a game and a series that LSU should handle if they can handle the pitching on that side.
Well, and that's kind of what I want to get into a little bit as this show goes on, because we said the same thing last week. Okay, they're going to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a top 10 team, but you look at the numbers and you look at how they've navigated wins and how they've gotten their wins, and I was like, man, I just don't see. I don't see where they where the top 10 team comes. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but they're getting these wins. They're getting a lot of hype around them, and you look at the numbers and you're like, man, they don't do anything great. They do a lot of things good. And if LSU goes out there and gets ahead of guys and they don't walk guys, they don't put guys on base, it felt like they were going to be able to handle that weekend, right? Which obviously it's hard to predict sweeps, especially on the road, but you felt like they were going to win the series. And obviously that happened, and they did, and they ended up sweeping, which is a huge thing. But I kind of see the same thing with Auburn this weekend. Right, they're good. They got a couple good starters. They have an offense that a lot of different guys contribute. They steal bags, but they don't do anything like, damn, this team scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, so I'm standing right there with you on this one, and this is I'm gonna bring it up now because I don't think it's been said enough, and I think the conversation needs to start at least. Tennessee was the number 1 ranked team in the country last week, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. They lost the series at home against the number what ranked team in the country? Oh, wait, they were not ranked, correct?
Right. Correct.
How far did they drop?
4 spots to 5.
Okay, so they were still a top 5 team, right?
Correct.
LSU went on the road and played a top 10 team at the time, who is now a top 2 team in the country. lost a close series, and how far did they drop?
Out of the top 5.
So what other losses do they have in conference? Oh, wait, they don't have any because they have 3 sweeps. And they had that one loss on the road to a now top 2 team in the country. I think it's pretty obvious that this LSU team, for whatever the reason may be, at this point in the season, truthfully, they're kind of getting overlooked at this point right now. And I think it's a spot maybe those guys are in that clubhouse are enjoying being in right now. And, like, I think this is something that kind of needs to be brought to light because no one's speaking about LSU.
Right.
At all,
and
if you really think about it.
And that's crazy to say.
Like, how is that a thing?
And that's crazy to say because people say, oh, they're 3rd overall. They're ranked 3rd in the country. Yeah, for sure. But leading up until last weekend, they were getting no shot. And let's not forget, they went on the road, basically a true road game against Dallas Baptist, who's ranked in the top 25, beat them. You go and you beat Kansas State in that tournament.
Also just beat Oklahoma this week, I believe.
Right. And you go and beat Kansas State. And I believe Kansas State is one of the better teams in the Big 12. Right? So you go and you have some wins on your resume outside of the SEC that should give you a little bit more respect. It feels like they didn't. I don't know if teams respected Texas as much as they did whenever LSU went there. And then now looking at Texas, you're like, okay, that's a lot better of a team than maybe some people thought. They're ranked obviously 2 in the country, but I'm with you. I think LSU is getting overlooked. I think that is kind of coming to an end. And if they go this weekend and do the same thing, not saying sweep, but do the same type of stuff they did against Oklahoma, I think that conversation and that being overlooked is going to go away. Because they've done things that they've done everything you've asked. They've won every game basically that you need them to win, -1 or 2, and they're playing really good baseball. And that starts with the pitching staff. That starts with the starters setting the tone, throwing strikes, not allowing guys to put a ton of pressure on you by giving free passes. And then that goes with the offense coming up with timely hits, continuing to putting pressure on the other team, and they've done that brilliantly. Kate Anderson specifically, what's his ERA? 2.85. It was 3.6 last weekend, and then 9 innings, no runs. That'll
tick down.
That'll help a little bit. Sub 3 now should be a good matchup. Does anybody on their offense scare you for Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, they got 2 bats. There's 2 bats that were both, I believe both were there last year for sure. Ike Irish and I think it's Cooper McMurray, I believe, but McMurray I know for sure is his last name. Those are their 2 big bats in that lineup. And the team's better than you think hitting. They're probably, I think, 6th in the league right now hitting. Look, they're a better than decent hitting ball club playing at home in a series where, like, you got to remember, they just played their rival last week. They just beat Alabama at home. They feel good about themselves. This is an opportunity for them to really announce themselves, if you will, this season. This is a huge opportunity that I'm sure they'll be playing up for. So it's not a walkaway situation where you can't expect anything from them. They're a good offensive club. And if they're on that night, they may be a very good offensive club. If Cade comes out and does his thing and he pitches well, you got to remember, Cade is also the league leader in wins. He's also the league leader in innings pitched. Cade has been every bit of a true ace this year, but I just think the true ace idea in Baton Rouge has been kind of shaded, much like the Joe Burrow conversation in quarterback.
Yeah. Right?
Like, he just had Paul Skeens here. It's very hard for people to forget what it's like when you don't have Paul Skeens on the mound every single time you go out there for game 1 of an SEC series. So, but Cade has done great. He's been awesome this year. He has been a true ace in the league this year. And I would say probably 1, if not 2, if not 3, one of the top 3 best pitchers in the league at this point.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this weekend it's going to be extremely important for the offense, for LSU's offense to put together some really good at bats, because if there is a Auburn's offense is good, right? I think they're ranked number 5 in the SEC with a .304 batting average. They have a couple different guys. They scratch and claw. They don't have a bunch of guys that are going to hit 10, 15, 20 home runs, but they have a couple guys that have 7 or 8, and they're going to put together good at bats, and they're going to get on base. And they're going to put pressure on you by trying to steal, and they're going to do things that way. Right, but on the flip side, their pitching staff has a 4.72 cumulative ERA, and so I think if LSU's offense can go out there and continue to do what they've been doing, continue to be patient, continue to get on base, continue to get the hits when they need to, I think that they can put up a large number early on in games and kind of take some of the pressure off of LSU's pitching staff.
No, I think you're 100% right. That's where you could get them. That's where it needs to be. That's where the game needs to be won this weekend. Obviously, you're going to have to be able to go up there, throw strikes, and get outs. But the pressure to me in this situation is LSU's offense has to show up and they have to perform. You speak of that 4+ ERA that Auburn's pitching staff has. They're also pretty high in the league in terms of walks. So LSU's ability to work counts, get deep in counts, be pesky, be not easy outs, I think are huge things and kind of deciding factors that's going to tell where this series can and or will go.
Correct. Lo, what do you think?
What's Rory doing? No.
What is Rory doing?
I mean, this has been an excellent high-level baseball conversation, so I was letting y'all roll because obviously Jared's still riding the high of having this SEC inside information where he's naming 5 players in Auburn's lineup like he's been grinding tape over there. Ike Irish, like that's not even a real person.
Listen, when you get in that studio, listen, it turns a little bit different. You start seeing different things. There's a lot of TVs going. You can't help but see it all at that point.
If you would make me stay here until 11, might as well learn something. No, but I do.
I get to see it all.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I get to see it all.
That's right.
I see it.
Yeah, the mothership, the space station.
There you go.
I do think that you talked about Cade, and I don't think this is a thing, but you don't think that they in no way limit his pitch count today because of what he did Friday? Yeah, absolutely, I don't think so either.
It's not limited. I just don't think they're going to stretch him to 135.
Yeah, but I don't think it gets to 90, and if it still looks good, he's not going to pull him. He's like, oh, he threw 135 last week. Like now you're going to have a bunch of people that are out there like pitch count watching, like, oh, I can't believe he's going to let him go over 100.
You know what? I say that, and listen, I don't think that this is where we are. But then don't be surprised because this is new age baseball. Like we just saw, I don't know if y'all saw that at all last night. Spencer Strider threw for the Braves. I don't remember what the numbers were, but like he was pitching very well. They pulled him with 90 pitches with I think 2 outs and a 2-strike count to one last night.
Wow.
Exactly at 90 pitches.
Wow.
And Jay,
that's something I've really never seen before.
Well,
he was dominating.
No doubt. And like that's him coming off injury last year too. You know, I
know, but my point is like coming off injury and or in the prevention mode in terms of he threw a lot. I don't know. I'm not in the clubhouse. I don't know how they treat those situations these days. What I saw, I've never seen before. What we know of ball, what we've seen forever, is that even if you've thrown that much in the game before, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a somewhat of a soft cap, but I don't. Who knows? They may do something like we just saw like that happen.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's going to be a conscious thing. Like, hey, like you're going through 6 and he's got 95 pitches. All right, you're done. Right? You're throwing well. 6 innings. Like right at that cusp. I don't think they're going to stretch him again and say, okay, hey, go through the 7th and potentially get to, 115. I think that's what you're going to see. I think if he may start an inning with 90. You know what I mean? And then go and maybe get right over that 100 mark. I think that's fine. I don't think that they're going to go and say, damn, you're throwing really well again. We're going to let you go 135. I don't see that happening.
I think it's going to – Jay has said as much, right? Whenever –
because Jay was ready to take him out, but he was just nobody got on base.
Let me ask you this. What if there's a world where he gets through 5 or 6 and it's been very good, like he's done very well, right? They're in the lead. He's thrown 5 or 6 innings, and let's say he's at 85 pitches. Does he get pulled?
No, I think
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
If he gets through, I think maybe if he gets through 6 innings at 85, that he has a chance, depending on what the score is and depending on what it looks like. I think there's a chance. Because last weekend they were up 2-0, and Jay had, Cowan getting ready. That's what he was telling us. He had Cowan getting ready. And had somebody gotten on base, they were going to pull him and bring Cowan in, but nobody got on base. So I think, I think you could see it if it's through 6. I think if he's 85 through 5, I think you're going to try to see him go one more. But, yeah, I mean, you could see that.
Here's what I do think. I don't think he's going to pull him that early, and I think it becomes more of a conversation of not just Cade Anderson. And I don't mean that in disregard to him or his health or anything, but I don't think what he also wants is to have to go and stretch out. If they're in a lead, if they're in a situation where they're ahead, let me stretch out and have to extend Kaysen more than what he's been extended already for a third week in a row. Like, I think, hey, if I got to get to that situation where he throws 4, like, okay, but I also probably don't want him at 80 pitches this time. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they feel like, hey, he's done this. We can keep ramping him up. But I think that's possible that it may be in there somewhere. So I do think what's going to happen tonight is you'll see Cade get to that 90 to 105 range, and that's probably right in the sweet spot. But I brought up those other situations because like I said, we're not in the clubhouse these days. I don't know how they look at it, medicine and or prevention and or injury wise these days. But
and I don't think Jay's ever really been a big, like, pitch count watcher.
No, you saw he allowed.
He's never been a pitch count watcher, but he's also never let anybody out there for 135 pitches. So like that's not necessarily your average run of the mill situation.
And I don't know these numbers. And I don't know these stats, but I'm pretty sure that Skeens. I know Skeens is different. He's built different, but I know he allowed Skeens to go. I think 120 plus a decent amount of times.
Yeah, that's kind of.
If I'm also sure too, I think that was also in middle to late May that he did that as well.
Yeah, I don't know the dates. I don't know the dates or the amount of numbers. I just remember looking at pitch counts, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got 120, but it was no issue because he's built for it, he's in shape for it, and he had enough time, and obviously hasn't affected him still because he's still going out there and doing the things he needs to do.
Yeah, I would agree. For reference, it started in going through May. Skeens has thrown at least 120 pitches in 3 of his last four starts, and more than 100 pitches in 5 of his last 6. I know he's a unicorn, but I think it's also one of those things where if you don't put yourself in jeopardy or in a situation where it doesn't feel like you need to come out, Jay's not going to give you a hook just because he doesn't like the number of pitches you've thrown.
Right.
And I think that's like you said, he had.
But he's also not going to force it either.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's very, like you said.
It's not. But here's the thing. We got to tell the truth about it too. It's not necessarily off of pitch count. Like there's questions and conversations that are had pre-start and during the game.
Yeah.
And that all goes off of like, how do you feel? Are you hanging? What do you have? What's in the tank today? So like when the pitch count number comes around, those things are taken into consideration. It's not just hey, I haven't talked to Cade since last week. I have no damn clue how he feels, and we're going to roll him out there. And if I think he gets to 90 pitches, that's enough. I'm taking him out. Like, that doesn't happen that way either.
Yeah, you just see the extreme. Obviously, Wake Forest is the example when you saw him get to what was their number, like 90? Whenever you saw that pitcher's duel with Paul Skeens and I forget the guy's name, long-haired guy. Whatever, they're both going after it, and then he gets to 90, and then Wake Forest's like, nope, got to pull him. You're like, oh, that's all it took? Like, okay, cool, because he was dealing. And LSU doesn't really do it that way, but you're totally right. Like, we're not privy to these conversations.
Right.
But I would go out on a limb, a very small one, and say that Jay has probably got the pulse of how Cade Anderson feels.
No doubt. No doubt. And look.
Which, if you ender, it could be a shorter leash.
Right.
We don't know. We're not in the clubhouse. We don't know.
It's all going to be what I want to see. This all comes back to efficiency. I want to see him get off to an efficient start and then just let him just get from there. Like throw strikes, attack guys, make them get hits off you, and see what happens after that.
Another little interesting ditty about Auburn as I'm looking through their Twitter. Check the tape. 6th one-run win. 8th win, this was away from home at Georgia Tech, and 9th win versus a ranked opponent. So we had that kind of conversation about Oklahoma, like what did they do well? It feels like this is a tick. Yeah, it's a tick above that too, where they've played pretty high-level competition. Had to play. I'm wondering who they used against Georgia Tech, because that's a very important baseball game as opposed to playing Nichols.
Right.
Like you want to get that win, RPI, all of that matters, and so it's interesting to see who they threw over the midweek. But this is a baseball team that. Where does LSU also thrive?
Right.
One-run games.
Right.
So you got to keep it close. They're also find ways to win, especially at home where they have ticket counter April 11th sold out.
There you go.
For the reserve seating. General admission.
Congratulations.
For the weekend, 500 tickets remaining.
Congratulations.
For the Hall of Fame Club Access Pass.
There we go.
1,000
You
tickets remaining.
You going to go?
No, but I do think it's probably considering what they did last week. Alabama get a series win. Now you have LSU coming into town. There's probably a little bit more buzz around the baseball program than usual. Basketball's over.
100%. Mikey, you ever been to that ballpark when it's like good, when there's people there? Because my only trips there, it was towards the end of the year. They were not very good, so it just wasn't it wasn't a great series as far as for atmosphere.
I only played there my sophomore year, and maybe one of those games was good as far as like fans. Their offense wasn't bad. They just weren't a great team whenever we were there.
Yeah. Pretty much the same here.
But and Jay talked about this too. Like they've kind of reinvested into baseball since
No
then.
doubt.
Like they've made their AD is a baseball guy, and so
You can tell.
Yeah, and
You
so
can tell.
at
They're going to be good.
Yeah.
They are better than Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Is where we're saying. Like they are better than Oklahoma. They have some of the same winning characteristics that Oklahoma had, but they have played.
They don't have an
competition.
ace like Oklahoma, but
No, they do not have an ace like Oklahoma. That is correct.
Yeah.
Their number 2 guy, Cade Fisher, I don't know if you remember the name. He transferred from Florida. Left-handed pitcher. I think that was a big transfer for them. He has struggled. 20 innings pitched, 17 walks. He's got a 4.43 ERA. Usually when you have that many walks and that many innings pitched, you have a higher ERA. He's obviously get guys out, but he struggles with throwing strikes consistently. I think that's something to watch with this LSU offense, who takes who takes a lot of pitches and walks a lot. That's obviously Ienson's going up against him. He's 5-0. He's got 66 strikeouts and 42 innings, only 15 walks. He's been brilliant since he's gotten here. And then obviously Sunday with Chase Shores, it's a TBA for Auburn. So, you don't really know who to expect there, but I don't think the mindset changes. It is, hey, let's put pressure on them early and often, and pitching staff throw strikes, make them beat you. And I think if that's the case, LSU walks out of the weekend with a series win. Any other games any other matchups throughout the course of the weekend that are interesting to us?
real quick, just to
there's 4 ranked matchups this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to put a bow on it, Lloyd. What
yeah, just because we talked about the pitching staff and what they had to do against Georgia Tech, they used 2, 4, 6 arms with Christian Chatterton throwing. Okay. He started the game, 3 innings pitched, 62 pitches. John Armstrong, 1 inning pitched, 15. Jet Johnston, 29 pitches in 1 inning. Ben Shore, a third of an inning, 19 pitches. Jackson Sanders, a third of an inning, 12 pitches. Dylan Watts, 52 pitches, 3 1/3 to close it out in a 1-run game that went to, I don't know if it went to extras or not, but very close. Nope, did not, 9-8. So, are we doing series for LSU or game today? Prediction?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
I don't know if we will wait, like, you usually come back to it.
Yeah, let's come back to it.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the SEC right now. Because, it's this Friday of the Masters, perfect weather. Also, a big day at our house, which I will, again, explain later. So, yeah. We'll get to the LSU.
Huge announcement.
LSU, no, it's not an announcement at all. The LSU Auburn game, we're going to get to that last. This weekend, another challenge for Georgia. Georgia went on the road last week against Texas, got swept. They're at home against the number 1 team in the country in Arkansas. That's 2 tough series in a row. They obviously did not win last weekend, and they have a even bigger challenge this weekend. What do we like in that, Jay?
I like Arkansas in this one, man. Like I said, there was a little bit more revealed than I thought would be revealed in that Texas and Georgia series, simply because they went there and they got swept, right? Getting swept to the tune of the way it happened, and now you're sitting there looking at them. They're a bottom 4 pitching team in the league, even though they're a top 4 hitting team in the league. That usually never lasts in terms of teams that really make it and go the distance. They're going to have to start pitching it better if they want to be a better ball club down the road or down the stretch of this thing. But when I look at Arkansas is the one that kind of scares me too. I think we've gotten a little bit of like Arkansas fatigue over the last few years because, well, there's a lot of LSU hate between Arkansas and LSU, so like that's part of it as well, obviously. But there's also some fatigue because they've only been good during the regular season and they can't get it done in the postseason. Man, I'll be honest with you, I kind of think this team's a little bit different. The Cam Koziel guy, the Davalon kid, I think they're both like top 3 in the league in both hitting over 400 still. They got like 8 dudes in the lineup that are literally banging. They got the 2 Aloy brothers that are doing it this year. This year, that team right now, ding, 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 they are the number 1 hitting team in the league. Yep. They're also top 2 or top 3 in homers, and they're also top 2 or top 3 in RBIs. We're not used to seeing Arkansas teams do that. But guess what? They're doing that also still with the top 4 pitching ball club. That's what we're used to seeing them do, be at the top of the league there. So, like, when I look at teams that have won it in the recent years, they're built a lot more like this Arkansas team is built, and I think this team's a lot different. I think this is going to be a very tough series for Georgia. I'd be hard-pressed to say they get swept at home, but I do see Arkansas getting this thing done. And they still do have a true ace in Zach Root as well. So, like, this is a team that's built to do some damage in the postseason, and I think they're kind of starting to spread their wings a little bit.
This is the most complete Arkansas team we've seen in a really long time, and they're playing like it. I have Arkansas winning this series as well. I'm not going to say sweep, but I do have them going on the road and winning this. Obviously, the ballpark area at Georgia is a little bit of a neutralizer for both teams, honestly. But Georgia is probably going to score more runs than they did, but maybe not. If they don't score runs this weekend, then you're like, okay, now we take a step back and say, okay, now you're playing some good competition. Yeah. But I do like Arkansas winning this series at least two games, and getting that win and putting Georgia kind of on its heels a little bit. Next series.
If Georgia able to win the series, this is the one where I'm like, all right, they might be for real. Like, they obviously still got some stuff to probably figure out pitcher-wise, but if they win this series, I'll be like, okay. Yeah. Because the reason why to be okay is like, all right, if they're able to do enough to get either a regional and or a super regional, so to be a national seed, it's hard to beat them in that ballpark.
Correct.
So like those are the two things for me, that if they're able to beat a Arkansas team built like this weekend, then I start looking at them a little bit differently.
Correct. Okay, next one, Missouri, Florida, at Florida. I'll tell you what, if Florida loses this series, O'Sullivan may get fired. He may not even walk it off the field. I have Florida sweeping Missouri.
Don't say fire on Kevin O'Sullivan.
It's hard to say shit like this, but bro, if they don't walk out of there with a damn sweep, they need to get their ass whipped. That's where they're at right now. This team, bro, this Missouri team is averaging. They have an earned run average of 9. It's 9+ right now.
Jesus.
Like, as a offensive team, if you play for Missouri today, you show up to the clubhouse knowing I gotta score 10 to be in the damn conversation. And guess what? 10 last night would have lost. Like, that's where they're at.
Yeah.
So if you don't sweep this team, I can't take you for it. I just can't.
Correct. I mean, I got nothing else to say to that.
Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, God. I'm sure there's a million. Like, you're going to see, if Missouri keeps going the rate they're going, you have no reason to believe that they won't. People are going to look back.
0-30?
Yeah, that would be crazy, but
wow.
LSU only went 7.
Would that be first time ever in this league? That's got to be first time. I mean, obviously,
there's no way somebody's going undefeated.
Nobody's done that, huh?
No. God. I mean, we used to play. They played 30 games in the SU for a long time, but I don't know how many teams have gone 0-30. I don't think anybody's gone 0-30.
Hey, big tilt coming on May the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th at South Carolina.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. Next, so we all got Florida sweeping. Next series, Texas at Kentucky. Kentucky, obviously, one of those pesky teams that always finds a way to scratch a win or two and win a couple series that they're maybe not supposed to win. Texas, number 2 team in the country, coming off a sweep at home against Georgia. What do we like in that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I like it. I just got a very sneaky suspicion. Does Kentucky walk away with a series win here? Like, this Texas – and I don't think this is really going to mean a ton for Texas going forward. But, like, does Texas go to Kentucky? Like, if Kentucky is able to muster up some decent crowd and decent atmosphere, which that place is kind of hit or miss, they're probably better towards the back end of the year. Does Kentucky still win here? I'm taking Kentucky.
I think they could. I like it. I did the upsets last week. It worked out for me. I don't hate the Kentucky pick, but for the sake of our show,
I don't love it. I'm just taking it.
I don't hate it. I'm not saying I love it, but I don't hate it because I could have talked myself into it or out of it. I am going to take Texas, but I think all 3 games are going to be competitive.
I can get there.
I think all 3 games are going to be competitive. I think that all 3 games could go either way between from the 5th to the 9th. I think you're going to look at it and be like, damn, this game could go either way. And I think Texas makes the plays to win, and Kentucky doesn't. But very easily, Kentucky could make the plays and win the series, like you're saying. So I like Texas in a close series.
Yeah, I look at this and Texas. I mean, Kentucky's got a little bit of some postseason magic in terms of who they have on staff there, the guys that have been there. They kind of have an idea of how to do it. This is a pivotal series for Kentucky. They're sitting at 5-7 in the league right now. Texas is sitting all fat and happy and pretty and feeling themselves right now. This could be one that can sneak up on them. I'm not going to sit here and give you any kind of stats as to why it could happen because there's not many. I'm just going to be honest with you right now. Like, Kentucky's not a top of the league hitting team. They're not a top of the league pitching team. But this is one they need, man. Like, they truly need this series, and I think it may be a gettable one, especially if you're able to get to them early on Friday because they're not super deep. Like, if you're able to get to Texas' starters, you got a chance. And if they're able to do it for sure on Friday night, there is a chance that they can do it one more time in the series.
Yep.
I don't think they win tonight, but Texas is winning this series. Kentucky is. I'm so over the Kentucky
Okay.
thing.
So you got Texas.
They just played Louisville in the midweek, lost 3-2 at home. So Louisville's a ranked team. I was about to say they're 16th ranked team in the country, but I feel like it's kind of spiraling right now for Kentucky after you've seen them get into two little skirmishes led by their man at the top step, and the walls could be closing in a little bit on this experience. But hey, that's on
could be. That's my wild card pick this week. Could be though.
Rory's 600, by the way.
Noah's not gonna like that pick, bro. He's gonna hate that. If he hears this, he's gonna hate that. Noah's not gonna like that pick if he hears it. He's gonna hate that.
Clip it and send it to him.
Next series, Mississippi State at Alabama. I got Alabama winning the series. I don't really think there's much explanation. I think Alabama's coming off a series loss against Auburn. They know that they're better than that. I think Mississippi State is kind of reeling right now, and I like Alabama. Alabama's better talent-wise. This isn't a trap weekend for them. I think Alabama takes care of business, wins 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I got Alabama 2 out of 3. I think they kind of right the ship a little bit here. They get right a little bit here. I think those top 3 guys in Snell, LeBron, and Bonamolo, they get it going for them this weekend. Yeah, I got Alabama this one. I think they take the series. I'd be surprised if they swept it. I think the Mississippi State team's a little more competitive than what people think. They just find ways to lose games. But I think Alabama takes the series.
Lloyd?
I don't think Alabama is as good as people are maybe thinking they are, but I also think Mississippi. You're starting to see the cream rise to the top here in the SEC, like the haves and the have-nots, and it feels like if you can put Mississippi State in that have-not bucket, Alabama is still very much on the fence. So I think all of that goes into Alabama kind of needs to win 2 out of 3 to kind of get the ship right.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to learn more baseball about other teams.
I think Alabama's a good team. I don't think Mississippi State's a good team. I think Alabama's a good team. All right, South Carolina A&M. Does A&M take the series tonight? Or does it go rubber match?
I got rubber match. I think A&M wins. I mean, I think South Carolina wins tonight. But I think A&M wins. I mean, you saw how well that game was played last night. It was one of the better games of the season so far last night. They're going to come to fight. I think they take one tonight. I think it goes into the rubber match where I think A&M gets the win.
My concern is if you've watched South Carolina, not you specifically, but if anybody has watched South Carolina throughout the course of the year, their first game of the series has usually been better. And then after, they've lost some close ones, and in the back end, it feels like, and like I said, I could be a little wrong on this, but it feels like once they don't get that first one, they exhale. It's like they lose that helium they had, and then they don't play well the rest of the weekend. But I could be wrong on that. That's just based off of what I've seen just from the 30,000
view. Yeah. But you know the pilot quite well.
I do.
If.
So I'm with you. I think there's a rubber match. I think A&M wins the series.
If A&M sweeps, is it time to start maybe taking them a bit more seriously?
No, not yet.
Because you go
not yet, but it's in there, right? Like you don't get ranked preseason number 1 for no reason,
right?
But it's not yet time to start saying like, oh shit, because where they're at right now, outside of them literally starting to like run the table the rest of the year, they're gonna have to go on the road somewhere in the postseason to do it, and that's just I'm not sure they're able to do that.
Well, look, if they sweep, they'll be 7-9 in conference, which are 6-9 in conference. And so they put themselves back in the mix. You know, they still have a long ways to go, but they definitely put themselves back in the mix and to make a run
You're on
in the
alert.
back half.
You're on alert. You're just not like, oh,
Right.
shit yet.
Right.
Well, tell that to Baseball America, who put out their 8 teams to go to Omaha. How did they phrase it? Picking our 8 for Omaha. Great headline. The 8th team, Texas A&M. They are so beloved.
People love them.
I mean, I understand that they have some talent. Who'd they lose at the start of the year? Third baseman?
Grahovic.
That seemed to have been like a shook the locker room type deal because they couldn't really get off the mat. But they are still getting a lot of love where they think that Texas A&M could maybe be in Omaha for 8 because if they had a series win over Tennessee and now they have a chance to be able to take 3 more, and then I guess that conversation would start to
Well,
get
then you
a
get the
little louder.
momentum, right? I think if they sweep this weekend, you have a lot more momentum going in, and they put themselves back into a conversation where it's like, hey, we're not trying to get back. Hey, look at what we've done. Now let's play baseball. Right. We've kind of gotten through the tough part of our not say schedule.
Yeah, I mean, make no mistake about it. Like going to the top 6 teams in the SEC right now at home all have no more than 3 losses.
Right.
So basically what I'm saying is to go on the road last week and just say, I'm going to take 2 out of 3 from Tennessee, the number 1 team in the country, at their house. If you looked at the numbers of it, says no shot. They went there and did it. It was a bigger series than what people think or what people are kind of giving it credence to at this point. But the mountain is high for them right now. There's a lot left to climb, and I'm just not at that point yet. But yeah, I think you should start looking around because they were not ranked preseason number 1 for no reason. So
correct.
Well, and this starts to make this beginning of May series with LSU loom very large at A&M.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we should start.
We got some time.
Yeah.
We got some time for that. Let's not jump that far. That's a long ways away.
Right.
We got.
Let's start.
LSU's got 3 really big series, 4 really big series. Really, if you count this one, 4 top 10 potentially series in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like we talk about A&M too. Like even if they were, let's say they swept this series, like you have to be able to do it for more than 2 weeks in a row. Mm-hmm. So like I'm not gonna even if they swept this series, like I said, you look at them, you kind of like, oh. All right, we'll kind of start paying attention to what you're doing down there, but you're not like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It just puts them back in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. This next game is my favorite one of the weekend, the favorite matchup of the weekend, most intriguing matchup of the weekend. Tennessee at Ole Miss. Tennessee lost 2 out of 3 at home last weekend. They're going to Ole Miss, who's playing good baseball at a really hard place to play. It's going to be very rowdy. We already talked about how great the weather's going to be. I'd imagine Ole Miss students are going to be out there in full force. Beer showers galore out there in the bullpen. Number 5, Tennessee at number 6, Ole Miss. What we got?
I think this is a huge series. I think the beer showers will be going. I think it's going to be crazy in Oxford. But I do think if Friday night starter Liam Doyle for Tennessee can show up and dominate pretty much how he has the entire year, it's going to set the table for that team, and they're going to walk away with the series win. If he runs into some kind of trouble and he's not able to dominate, I do think that leaves the door open for Ole Miss, and that leaves the life feeling for Ole Miss, and they may feel like there's a window and a way for them to win this series at that point. And if they do, and the championship pedigree does not show up for Tennessee, that's when you kind of start to ring the alarm a little bit, because this is the first sign of trouble for Tennessee in the year last week. And if they do it 2 weeks in a row, you're like, oh, okay, there may be a chink in the armor. So this is a big series. I think it's probably the biggest one on the weekend, honestly.
Yeah. I like I want to pick Ole Miss. I just don't know if Tennessee is going to lose 2 straight weekends. I think all 3 games are going to be awesome. I think there's going to be I think Ole Miss is going to have a chance to win all 3 games in the 8th. Like they're going to have a chance to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th or bottom of the 9th in all 3 games. But I believe Tennessee wins 2 out of 3. Ole Miss may have a walk-off mixed in one of those.
You have pitching matchup-wise. Ole Miss, left-handed pitcher Hunter Elliott, 5-0, 3.6 ERA against, obviously, Liam Doyle, 5-1, 2.5 ERA. Game 2, Riley Maddox, 3-2, 6.10 ERA. Right-handed pitcher Marcus Phillips, 2-1 with a 2.6 ERA for Tennessee. Mason Nichols, 2-0 with a 4.8.
He's been real good.
And then Tegan Coons, right-handed pitcher for Tennessee, 2-1 with a 2.7 ERA.
Right, so
they're kind of throwing the shit out of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think it's going to be very competitive. I think the home field for Ole Miss definitely helps, but I think that Tennessee wins the series 2-1.
That's why I said what I said in terms of, like, if they're able to get to Liam Doyle and he gets in trouble and they maybe sneak a win or really find a way to kind of spend some of the bullpen, that may spark, like, legitimate, like, something in that Ole Miss team thinking, like, hey, we got to their unquestioned guy when the rest of them have thrown really well this year as well. So they may think, like, hey, if we can get at him, we can get to the rest of them, and we got a chance. But if he's able to go in there and just shut him down, you may really shut down that thought process through the rest of the weekend.
Demoralize.
All right, last one before we get to LSU Auburn. Vandy at Oklahoma.
I think the Vandy team's kind of starting to find their way a little bit. They're a top 5 pitching team in the country, although I think their Saturday guy has thrown, I think it's Bowser, has thrown a lot better than J.D. Thompson, who's been their day one guy, Friday guy, if you will. For the most. By the way, I really honestly hate that I can't say Friday night guy anymore. Like, that's not a thing because there's so many Thursday series that are played now. So when you say that, it kind of jades the thought of it. It really bothers me because I feel like there was a little bit of a ring to that before you could say that. Can't say it anymore. But their day one guy, J.D. Thompson, actually has worse numbers than the guy they've been throwing day 2. I think they're kind of starting to find their way. I'm still not a huge believer in their lineup. I just don't think that there's enough thump there. But they do pitch it well. I think this is a series they go and win. I think they win the series.
I agree. I think they win the series. And honestly, I think they sweep Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is going to start scuffling a little bit.
You got Oklahoma on a 7-game losing streak after this weekend.
Yep. I like the way Vandy's playing. The only way they don't sweep is if tonight. If Oklahoma wins tonight. But
I think tonight's their best chance. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think if Vanderbilt pulls the game off tonight, I think they sweep the weekend. But I think they win the series regardless.
Vanderbilt, tale of 2 ways to play baseball, I guess. Batting 11th in the league with a 2.77 average, but 3rd in the league in pitching with a 3.37
And that's like how Vandy used to play.
Yeah.
Vandy used to be really good because they'd have a couple scrappy guys on the lineup and they could throw the shit out of it. And then when they won the national championships, they had everything. They're hitting homers. They're like a complete team, and they're back to, okay, we're going to dominate on the mound, and we're going to scratch and claw as best we can offensively.
And they have a coach that knows how to coach that way. Like, he's been through it before.
Yeah.
Under tonight. Let's take the under.
What's the over-under?
I don't know, but
okay, under.
Also, can we petition as a group to just keep saying Friday night guy regardless?
Deal.
I'm tired of dancing around it.
Deal. A's Friday night.
I hate it, man. It's annoying.
Yeah, I think it's gone long enough in life to where people know what you're talking about. Like, no, that's just a baseball thing. Get over it.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Last game on the docket. LSU at Auburn. What we got?
Series win. I will be shocked if they sweep. Like I said, though, this is a good Auburn club. They can swing it well. They have a good starter going tonight. I'm sure they're going to want to get every ounce of juice that they can possibly get for Dutton just so they don't have to really spin the bullpen. So his performance is going to be key for them. But I think if this LSU offense can come out and do what they need to do against this Auburn pitching staff, get on base, put pressure on them, keep moving the ball, keep moving people around the bags, timely hits, pop a couple homers here and there. If they can do what they've done for the vast majority of the year, I think this team will be fine in this series. I do. I can see Auburn getting a game. I would be shocked if LSU swept, but I see LSU winning this series. I think they should. They're a better ball club.
I have LSU sweep. I mean, not sweeping. I have LSU winning the series, not sweeping. I think tonight's going to be interesting because Sammy Dutton's going to want to go out there and put on a good performance. And sometimes on the mound when you do that and you kind of get a little bit jacked up, sometimes you may makes a few more mistakes than you normally would make. Maybe you hang the breaking ball, or maybe you spike couple breaking balls and you try to get perfect one and you hang one, or you throw fastballs a little bit too much over the white. I think LSU wins the series, and I think they win tonight.
We were talking a little bit about Dutton and how his numbers might be a bit misleading. What were you saying about that the other day?
So he has a 2.66 ERA, but he's got an opponent's batting average against at like right under 260, right? And that's not high average, but as a starter, that's more than you want to see. And it doesn't mean you're going to have a 6 ERA, but it also doesn't tell me that you should have a 2.6 ERA either. So what that tells me is guys are putting balls in play. He's getting himself in jams, and he's getting out of it. And to me, if you have that and guys are not swinging and missing, and I know he's got more strikeouts than innings pitched, I get that. But guys are putting balls in play and getting hits. And I think that over time you're going to start seeing the ERA climb to maybe the upper 3s, low 4s.
Yeah, if you're not like that number right there at 260 plus average makes me feel like if I just scroll, I can't even, because I can't, for whatever reason, it won't pull up, so I don't want to have the numbers in front of me. But like I can't see. I would imagine if I go to look at the numbers, you're not probably looking at a strikeout to walk ratio that's like 2 to 1 plus or like 3 to 1. You're probably not looking at that, which means that it's not dominant stuff. There's balls being put in play. Sooner or later, that's probably going to rise a little bit.
So Dutton is, I'll tell you right now. Wait, hold on. Dutton has 42 innings or 44 innings pitched, 51 strikeouts, 10 walks, not walking a bunch of guys. Has given up 42 hits in 44 innings, 258 batting average against. So, guys are getting on base. And he's getting out of it, which is great by him. Like that's what you want. You want to be able to get out of it and not give up runs. That's the name of the game. But I do believe against elite offenses, having that much contact or that they're giving up that many hits could cause potentially the ERA to balloon a little bit. Like I know nowadays when I'm looking at a pitcher and I see innings pitched and I scroll over to strikeouts, if the strikeouts are double the innings pitched or they're approaching that, that's when you're like, well, there's an out pitch, and it's probably very nasty. Yeah.
You don't feel like that unless you see that. Now, like, if there's more strikeouts than innings pitched, you're like, okay, cool. But, like, when you get to that double-ish number or, like, slightly under, that's when we're like, all right, who the hell is this? That's like when guys when they show up, they want to see you warm up. They want to see him throw in the pen. They want to see everything because they're like, what does shit look like? Because obviously it's nasty.
Yeah, no, and like
you don't get that feeling.
There's times you look at the scouting report and you got a guy with like a 4.5 to 5 ERA, and you go look at it and you're like, damn, guys are hitting like 205 off of this guy. How does he have such a high ERA? And you go to the walks, like, oh, okay, that's why, because he's putting guys on base, and so then the few hits he's giving up, usually guys are on base and he's giving up runs that way. So numbers don't tell the whole story, but you can kind of make an assumption or predict some stuff to happen based off of that, and that's kind of what I see. So I like LSU win the series, 2-1.
Yeah.
Lloyd?
I was told not to say 2 out of 3, confident in it maybe being a...
Why are you saying like your dog died?
Well, because some people out there think that I may be putting the M word on the LSU baseball team. Which,
I'll taking my role.
Right, I'll respect it. But considering I did the same thing last week and it happened, I feel...
I see. You don't want to say that.
Right.
That's what you're debating about. Mm-hmm. It's not about the series win. It's about the amount of games they win in the series. Okay.
But I'll ride this streak.
Okay.
I'll ride with the Tigers. We have a very confident Jay Johnson, almost to the point of delirium, as you saw. Like very poised. He knows what he has in this baseball team. And I do think that very possible to likely chance of maybe a sweep. But I'll say 2 out of 3.
All right.
2 out of 3. They are better than Oklahoma, and LSU does have a propensity to find themselves in one-run games quite a bit.
100%. It's gonna be a fun series. It's gonna
2
be
out
a
of
spot.
3.
Huh?
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. There you go.
Remember, like we talked about. I say what I talk about. That's what I've kind of put out there a lot. The last 2 weeks, I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about simply getting W's. What we've seen this LSU team do, I think, has been super impressive, man. Like to do what they've done, the way they've had to do it, the situations that the team was put in. It's a lot to ask 18 to 22-year-olds, and they've done it seamlessly. So I think that they're starting to get to that peaking spot because these kids seem to be very, very mature, if you will. Let's go with that.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Real quick.
Okay.
Shout out to the club, the chat. Jeffrey Pereira for the Tennessee Ole Miss series. Y'all are forgetting that there's drama between Liam Doyle and Andrew Fisher with Ole Miss baseball and the fan base. This shit could be insane. They both played for Ole Miss last year, both signed new NIL deals, and both got into the
Oh yeah,
portal on
Kate
the last
Fisher.
day.
I said Florida. I meant Ole Miss.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Fisher was very vocal to other players saying that they should leave, and so a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of drama.
It is. I like that. I do too.
it.
Makes the
world go round.
already most intriguing
I
weekend
like
of
that.
the
Yeah.
already the most intriguing matchup makes it even more intriguing. I like that. All right.
But one last, you put a little PS. I live locally in Knoxville. Fisher's a douchebag.
Okay. Noted. All right. So we got our predictions there. Lloyd,
Yes.
who's winning the Masters this weekend? We're gonna come back on Monday and we're gonna talk about it and who we're gonna talk about wearing the green jacket.
I know who you think is
Give me your
winning.
top three at least. Give me your top three.
So I
What's the standing?
was. I'll read. I'll have them up right now.
Of course, you're probably
Give me
watching
no
it.
standings. What you got?
Justin Rose is 8 under. McElroy is 6 under. DeChambeau is 6 under. Both DeChambeau and McElroy about to finish. McElroy is on 18. DeChambeau is on 17. They're both 6 under. Connors.
Dr. Connors.
Corey Connors at 6 under. Scotty Scheffler 6 under through 6. So Scotty's got some time the rest of to go and make his run. McElroy 6 under on the day, so he has the low round of the day as of now. McCarty 5 under, first time ever playing in the Masters. Was 4 under today, 5 under going into the weekend. Victor Hovland making his push. He's 5 under. Trying to think. Sam Burns with a good day. 3 under, 4 under for the day. Sam Burns making his push. Who we like? I can't go through the whole thing because there's a lot of interest. This is
So the boogeyman's right in it. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, Boogeyman is in there, but this leaderboard is stacked, and it's going to be a fun weekend.
I will say, I'll give you.
I mean, we got Rory.
What did he just make birdie?
Oh my God!
No, that's from last year. You fool.
Well, I don't know. I just saw him running out of the
I'm watching
bunker.
tee up right now.
I just saw him running out the bunker. I don't know what was going on.
He chipped in from the
So
sand.
I thought he did it again.
No, he can't. He doesn't. I mean, of course he does that when he doesn't have a lead or a tournament to play for. Give the folks a show. I do think he will get your top 3. He'll be in your top 3. He'll be there on Sunday, only to have his heart ripped out.
Hey, interesting right here. Shane Lowry, 5 under, 4 under the day through 16. Shane Lowry birdies again. Are him and Rory paired together, and they're gonna? And if that's the case,
be the only thing.
If that's the case, I believe Rory's gonna have an outrageous round tomorrow. Because they're best friends,
it's a safety blanket.
Yep.
Don't do it, Augusta.
Yep.
Don't give that man any help.
Yep.
I mean, Shane Lowry carried him.
If Shane Lowry birdies one of these next 2,
there's a potential.
There's a potential because Scheffler has a chance to jump Rory, right? Because Scheffler's got a long ways to go. And Corey Connors is through 9, so he's got some ways to go. And so Rory there's a chance. There's a chance. All right, so who you got?
Shane Lowry's an actually interesting pick.
I know.
And that would be the ultimate if Rory and Shane play together on
Your
the
boy
final
Ludwig.
day.
Ludwig is even today. He's 4 under, so
That's
he's
right.
grinding through the day. He's right in the mix.
The robot, I'm telling you. That man, I don't know if he can. The batteries ran low. But
that's not good. Someone else got a great bounce. Who's that? Is that Ludwig again? He got another good bounce.
That's right.
This guy is unbelievable.
Hey, he lives right, you know?
I mean, it's going to be hard, difficult, up and down there, but
Could've been
didn't go
worse.
in the bushes.
Justin Thomas.
Ooh.
Hopefully he can make the cut. He's been grinding also.
Oh, he's even.
Bad shot.
Yeah, even will make the cut. I think it's, what?
3. It's probably going to be 3 or 4.
Over.
Yeah. He's through 6. He's got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
All right, so make your pick.
I have my top 3.
Okay.
The Boogeyman,
Okay, Scheffler.
Scotty, Bryson,
Mm-hmm.
Rory.
I love that. That would be an unbelievable.
And then Bryson and Rory after what happened last year. Like Bryson didn't do anything, but obviously the pairing and Rory trying to win kicked down the door again for another major. Bryson takes it. Well, Rory gave it to him, but that pairing again to see them go wire to wire would be excellent drama on Sunday. And then Scotty Scheffler wins.
Okay, so you got Scheffler winning. Jay, you got Scheffler. You got Scheffler winning too, I'd imagine.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Boogeyman does it. Nobody, bro, you gotta like for him to be hanging around at this spot right now. Like that's the last you want someone who's just been dominating the tour
doubt.
like he is. That's. I mean, yeah.
No doubt.
I'm not saying you can't make like a comeback from like let's say if he was like 3 down or 3 under at this point, but like sitting right at the spot right there, you're just like, oh shit, man.
Yeah.
Like he puts so much pressure on everybody else to be like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it got. Like,
Well,
that
that's the thing. You're gonna have to go and win it.
You have
He's
to
not
take
gonna
it
give
from-
it to
no.
you. You're gonna have to go and outplay him, and that's hard to do.
Rory and DeChambeau both have the firepower to be
And
able
I love your top like that for as far as golf goes.
Yeah.
Like you can't get a better 3, but I'm gonna mix. There's gonna be someone else in there that
might be
makes,
Lowry.
that makes the run. I'm gonna put your boy in there.
Ludwig.
I'm gonna put Ludwig in the top 3 at the end of it. I think it's gonna be. Damn, I don't want to pick 3. I want to pick 4.
Yeah, pick 4.
I'll pick the final 2 groups: McIlroy, DeChambeau, Scheffler, and Ludwig.
I love that.
I think
mean,
those
that
are
would
gonna be
be-
the top 4.
Is there anybody that won back to back?
And I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I think Tiger probably has. Has he?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm sure someone has going back to back. I'm gonna go McIlroy winning it. I really do think he's gonna finally get off. I'm rooting for him to get off the Schneid. So that's it.
Jack Nicklaus has done it. Nick Faldo has done it, and of course, prime Tiger Woods, 2000,
Yeah, I figured that was. I figured.
2001, 2002. Then they were like, you know what? We have to Tiger-proof Augusta because he's embarrassing us, and they did.
So Scheffler could be the 4th to ever go back to back.
They cut the brakes in his car.
Ah.
Tired of him winning. You have to preserve Jack Nicklaus's legacy.
But no, it's gonna be a great weekend. Great Masters weekend. Hope everybody celebrates.
Oh, Masters Party Sunday.
Hope everybody celebrates.
Feel free to come by.
Yeah.
Biggest
You have
party
one?
in town. Yes.
In Baton Rouge?
Lafayette.
I'm not going to Lafayette.
You should.
All right.
2019, I threw up in the parking lot at a gas station
Of course you did.
for Tiger.
That's probably the mistake of the day.
No,
go,
that was one of the best days of my life.
Let's get to the mistakes of the day.
I
Mistake
was
of the day.
full of emotion.
What you got?
Speaking
I
of
like your mistake of the day today.
Speaking of emotion, the mistake of the day belongs to, I don't even know his name, but there was a man who, an amateur nonetheless, who has decided to denigrate the great legacy.
Amateur. And look, I think he's going to make the cut.
Yeah, he might get cut. There was, well, what's his name? I just had it pulled up and I deleted it.
Hastings. Right?
Jose
No, not Hastings.
Louis Ballister. Low amateur at 4 over, tied for 64th. Whatever. This man, no decorum. Look, I'm all for pissing on the golf course. I get it. There's not a lot of places to go, not a lot of places to be able to do it. But this one place in particular sits a bit higher in the pecking order than everywhere else. So you got to bring a little bit of decorum to the course. It's a place of...
He's falling off. He's 6 over now.
I told you they were going to get his ass.
Yep.
And not only did he piss on the golf course, not only did he make it known without really having to say it, he could have avoided this, but he's proud of it, which that's one thing. But like I said, I've peed on many a golf course.
But you don't do
this to Augusta. You got to
Not
give
this
it the respect it deserves, and if you don't respect it, it will come back and bite you in the ass. You saw Bryson DeChambeau say it was a par 67. He didn't make the cut that year. It has some magic to it.
Well, I completely forgot that we had those versions from the left of the tee box.
He had pissers.
Yes, correct. And then I'm like, I
That's
really need to
stupid.
pee. Didn't really know where to go, and since JT had an issue around the green, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sneak here in the river. Probably the people would not see me that much, and then they caught for me. Probably one of the clubs that I really got today, like real loud. So that was kind of funny.
These people are perplexed.
Blowback from that at all? Or, I mean, obviously, they did
Blowback from that at all?
Yeah, they saw me. They saw me. I mean, it was not embarrassing at all for me. So if I had to do it again, I would do it again.
Wow.
He's an absolute idiot.
Give this guy a PR person.
Yeah, this is just an absolute disgrace.
He's Tommy Karam.
To the game of he does.
He's an amateur.
Jose,
he's not even on the PGA Tour yet.
Jose Luis Ballester, Peas and Rays Creek, of all places.
Yeah.
That's this is sacred ground you're on. There was a man that went to Augusta to watch a patron. He got a handful of sand and got arrested and kicked off the property and banned for life. Now, while you're not supposed to pee at Augusta, there was one, Clifford Roberts, who, in the name of golf, in the name of everything he found holy, decided to make Augusta his eternal resting place. While very racist,
So this is a double mistake of the day.
Yeah. Well, he honored the course, but not an honorable man, as he retired from Augusta after saying Lee Elder was the first black player to be allowed at Augusta after he qualified. But he said, and I quote, "As long as I'm alive, all the golfers will be white and all the caddies will be black." And then
sounds like a great guy.
He continues
Terrible
he
human
doubled
being.
down on it by saying, to admit a black only because he was a black would be practicing discrimination in reverse. After Lee Elder qualified and was allowed to play, he stepped down from Augusta as its chairman, and in 1977, that's when he stepped down, and he went on to kill himself at Augusta in Ike's Pond. He shot himself in the head on Augusta's grounds. So
It's very dark.
The ultimate pay of respect to the course, an homage, if you will.
Very dark.
He has a plaque.
Very bad person.
Bad person.
And I don't even
bring me up. Good God.
a little bit of history lesson here.
I don't know what else to say on that, but bad person.
What?
Yeah, not rest in peace.
And I don't know what to say. Anyway, curtain calls. With that, following that.
Let me lead it off. I got one for you. I got a dumbass curtain
Thank
call.
you. Thank you.
My dumbass today.
Thank
All right,
you.
I will say, yeah, I guess it was today. You can really say it was today. So after leaving the studio last night, I'm hungry. It's about 12:45 at night. I need to get something to eat. There is a nice little North Carolina. I think it's now branched out into Georgia, maybe into South Carolina, but it's Carolina treasure called Cookout. Yes, Cookout is a good place. So I went to Cookout. I'm on the phone with my wife. I'm ordering the food. I order the food. I drive up to the window. First thing they do is they give me the drink. I put the drink down, then they ask for my card. I give them my card. They give me my card back. My dumb ass was so hungry and it was so late and I was tired that as soon as they gave me my card back, I drove home. So I drive home. I get all the way to the hotel. I think I'm about to smash it. I get out the car with my laptop. I get out the car with my... I duck back in the car to look for the food. Bro, I was so hungry, I even opened the damn trunk trying to get the food. Ain't no food in the car. But guess what? 3.2 miles ain't that far away. I got my happy ass right back in the car, drove back over there, drove back up to the window, said, hey, hello.
Me.
I'm back. Me. I'm the dumbass who left here without the food. And the guy at the window goes, oh!
They gave you the food, obviously.
They gave me another food. I think they actually did a whole new order, which was great. Gave me 2 drinks. The guy gave me another drink. He was like, hey, take this drink. You can save it for tomorrow on me. And here you go.
Hey.
And that's how my night was. I came back home and devoured it.
I love some Cookout. What'd you get?
I got the big double cheddar style. Throw some jalapenos on there with the corn dog and the Cajun fries. Oh, I had me a night, cuz. Had me a night.
That's great.
It's great.
Love me some Cookout.
So curtain call my dumb ass for finally getting something to eat finally at some point.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad because there's nothing worse than like being starving and not having any food around, and then So good
that's
for
where I
you.
was. It hurt.
Look,
I was heartbroken when I got it.
I bet, dude. I bet.
That you know what you did too.
And I've done that.
You paid for somebody else's meal and they just cooked you up a fresh one. Somebody ate that shit as soon as you left.
Oh, 100%.
They're like, he ain't
100%.
coming back. Look, he's gonna be gone forever. Like, oh shit, he's there. Like, let's make you a fresh one. My curtain call is to Nick Dunlap. Nick Dunlap, making his second start at the Masters, was an amateur, I believe, last year. Yeah,
Wow,
2024 PGA Tour Rookie of the Year, became the first player in PGA Tour history to win both as an amateur and a professional. So he starts off good golfer, great golfer, ascending career, right? Goes to Augusta yesterday, shoots 90. The second highest round by somebody under the age of 50 since 1956. But that is not the curtain call. The curtain call is, hey, whole new day, right? Get to play another round. You at least get one more. Go enjoy yourself at Augusta. He's through 8 holes, 3 under.
Hey!
Bounce back
nice
guy.
Bounce back. Nice bounce back.
There's-
Not going to make the cut, but
No.
nice bounce back.
There was a lot of shots he hit yesterday. He cold shanked a driver on
Oh,
3.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And he dropped it. I'm like, I've been there.
It sounded bad.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were saying with this, he did that a couple of times, like, I don't know if he's mentally going to be able to bounce back from this.
3 under.
90 at Augusta. Like, no, here I go. Hey, another day. Tear that scorecard
That's
up.
it.
Print up a new one.
That's the beauty of golf.
You actually saved that one and you take your kids.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah,
a
like I
record
did.
holder.
I'm in, almost.
Yeah.
That's actually worse. You should have just broke the record.
Triple digits.
Like, damn, at least I'm like, I'll be mentioned in this forever, but not. All right, my curtain call. There's a lot of curtain calls to be had, but my curtain call is today is April 11th, and I told y'all before, it's a special day. It is my wife's birthday, so I'm going to give a curtain call to my beautiful wife, Allie. Happy birthday. And we will be celebrating tomorrow night because tonight we have to go to a wedding. And shout out to Ramsey Barfield getting married. Be on the show.
Oh, Mikey's schedule is brutal.
So we're doing that. Before that, we have to drive to an engagement party in New Orleans for an hour and then come back to the reception in Baton Rouge.
That's what
I've
I
never
was
seen this. Man, go to more weddings. This is unbelievable.
Well, it's not now. It's my wife's turn. It's Hall of
I
Reference.
don't care. You're attending. I don't care.
Yep, I will be there, and then we will celebrate on Saturday.
Also, one last curtain call to you, my friend. Curtain call to golf. Mikie Mahtook has been thriving in this golf environment. The man is texting me. We're all on the same wavelength there. All I want to do is go play golf. I can't stop thinking about golf. Thinking of golf to the point of today, leaving his house.
Watching the Masters
on his phone driving. And while he's going to run errands, he is not going to the place he ends up. He's driving along, going to run errands, looks up, finds himself in the parking lot of U Club. It'd be like, oh, this is not where I'm supposed to be.
I was like, what am I doing? I wanted to play golf so bad that my mind just brought me to the parking lot thinking like, hey, you're not playing golf. You got to go. You got shit to do, and then you got to go do a show. And so, but I really wanted it badly, and I didn't get to do it. But just know, mentally, I was there. Okay?
That's unbelievable.
I pulled in. I literally pulled into the parking lot. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?
Can't do this here.
Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I was supposed to keep
I wanted
going."
food so badly I was dumb. You wanted golf so badly you were dumb.
That's it. That's it. All right, that's all we got for you on this beautiful Friday night. Canafest tomorrow, April 12th. Beautiful day. Beautiful reason to go out there and have a beautiful day.
Yes.
Starts at noon, ends at 10 p.m. Gonna be a lot of fun and shenanigans and vibes happening. Beauvoir Park, boom, big show.
Big show.
Enjoy the weekend series. Enjoy golf. Enjoy it all. We'll see you on Monday, recapping everything. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can't watch us, but you like listening to us. Or anywhere you get your pods. We love y'all. Enjoy your weekend. See you on Monday. Peace.
What's going on at Augusta?